Coming to you live from the world-famous Max Pawn, Pawn Talk Live, hosted by the voice of the Las Vegas Wranglers, Dave Carney, and the owner of the world-famous Max Pawn in Las Vegas, Michael Mack. Call in at 257-5396. That's 257-5396, and find out what your valuables are worth from the top expert in the pawn industry. Now, Michael Mack and Dave Carney.
And welcome to Pawn Talk Live here on News Talk 720 KDWN. Dave Carney, joined by the owner of the world-famous Max Pawn, co-host here on Pawn Talk Live, Michael Mack. Great to be with you, Michael. Chad Forster sticking around here with us from Live Las Vegas.
Hola.
And special guest here down at the store today, Jesse Amorosa. Yes, the Jesse Amorosa, famous from the History Channel and Pawn Stars. From Cowtown Guitars. Jesse, great to see you. How are you, bud?
Doing good, doing good.
Great to have you down here at the store. Now, Michael, today you have created with the Max Pawn crew and some of us folks here on air a brand new holiday called Dos de Mayo. Tell us about this.
I'll tell you what, I can't take authorship because you are the creator. He came up with the greatest idea.
Man.
You know, we were going to have a Cinco de Mayo party down here at Max Pawn, and all our staff has put together just a great party. It's here today. We're having it through 5 p.m. We got free margaritas, virgin, of course.
Right.
We have everything around us is virgin, and we have great food. We got a taco truck out there. We got other food and free soft drinks. So come on down. But the whole idea was having a Cinco de Mayo, but this is Dos de Mayo, and so.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so Dos de Mayo, of course, is the 2nd of May, and we declared it our own holiday. You know, people have to revolt from certain things. Well, we're having a revolt from paying retail prices.
I love it.
So don't pay retail prices again. Wow. This is the 2nd of May. We're having our own holiday. Don't pay retail again. We have, prices up to 70% off retail all day long. Come on down. And we're going to have some fun today.
Well, it looks great down here at the store. I mean, as you mentioned, we're opening this up until 5 o'clock today with all the fun and the festivities. We've got free tickets, Michael, from 3 of LVH's most popular shows, rating the Rock Vault, Mosaic, and The King with Trent Carlini. And I even saw our good friend from your neighboring smoke shop come on by over here, another new business to the whole area, and you can really tell everybody's having a lot of fun. I see the Bravo Store Systems gal walking on through the doors here, making hay, making it rain, so to speak. Just a really great day down here.
Powered by.
That's right, powered by Bravo. Well, what do you say, guys? Let's go ahead and spin our very first prize wheel.
And now it's time to get lucky with the Max Pawn prize wheel.
All right, now, Michael, you said earlier today that anybody that comes down to the store between now, which was 1 o'clock, but now 2 o'clock and 5 p.m. is going to get their choice of a free prize, plus what else?
Well, I think I'm going to extend it because we're open till 8 p.m. and we have a lot of prizes. So you have a choice of tickets, of course, to the 3 LVH shows, Mosaic, Trent Carlini, and the Rock Vault. And, of course, the Max Pawn Treasure Chest. You have a choice of, everything from power balance bracelets, CDs, DVDs, and a lot of great items given to us by Beasley Broadcast.
Absolutely, and not to mention the great stuff that you do for every show, whether it's Pawn Talk Live in Espanol on Wednesdays or Pawn Talk Live here on Fridays on KDWN. You have 98-cent DVDs here in the store, $3.98 Blu-rays, and $3.98 DVD box sets. So really great stuff for basically everybody in any price range.
You know, I was getting a haircut a few days ago. Jess turned me on to this new place. It's not so new, but it's over on Charleston in the old Charleston, what's the name?
It's in the Huntridge district.
Yeah, district right across the street. It's called Rollers, and this place is old. We were in a barber shop. This place was the real deal. It's old school, and these guys are great. They give the old cuts and
straight razor shaves, and the magazine rack is geared towards men. If you know what I mean.
I do.
I like that.
I do.
So they're playing old movies in there, and they're saying, so I asked one of the guys, I said, how many times have you watched that movie? He goes, 65. I said, I'm making a deal with you. I said, I'm making a deal with you. Come down to Max Pawn. Come grab 10, 15 movies. Watch them. Bring them back. You don't have to pay for them. You guys are our buddies, so these guys are. I want to give a big shout out to the boys at Rollers. Good guys.
Wow, when Michael said he was getting a haircut here, Chad, I thought he meant he got really hosed on something he took in. He was just like,
what he means,
I was taking a haircut on this item, and Jesse, I mean, I'm glad that you were able to give Mike the location here because he does have a great haircut. I noticed it yesterday. I told Chad this is when you know a guy's got a great haircut.
Is when you actually notice it.
Right, when another guy notices your haircut. So great job for the Rollers guys. But Jesse, your store, also in really one of the coolest parts of downtown, which is called Cowtown Guitars, has been around for a long time. Give our listeners here on KDWN a little brief overview of Cowtown in case they've never heard of the store, never been there.
Cowtown moved here from Ohio. Its original owner, Mark Chatfield, he played guitar for Bob Seger. He moved to Vegas. He opened the store. It was really a good thing to happen to Las Vegas. A few years back, he wanted to retire and pretty much gave me the store. Been running it ever since. I ran it since 2007 completely. It's kind of turned into a Vegas institution. It's where every guitar player goes to buy real, legitimate guitar stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys, Jesse, over at Cowtown Guitars have really, been the, I guess, auctioneer, I would say, of a number of the most famous guitars in the world. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the guitars that have come through Cowtown?
Let's see. We've had one of Jimi Hendrix's 1963 Stratocasters.
Wow. That's like when he was playing with Little Richard.
Yeah, it actually is.
Wow, that's fantastic.
When he was Jimmy James.
Right.
Then we had just recently Ed King from Leonard Skinner. That's the guy who wrote Sweet Home Alabama, and he was also in another band called Strawberry Alarm Clock, and he wrote Incense and Peppermints.
That was
Same guy.
You know what? Great
song.
song. Their only hit actually, but great song.
Yeah. We just sold one of his. It's a 1959 Stratocaster.
Wow.
I had a one-owner 1952 Telecaster come in, which is rare to find one of those that hasn't been through a million people's hands. So I had original sales receipts and everything. We just sold that one. And right now I have a gentleman named Vic Flick. I'm going to sell the guitar for him. It just got back from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's the guitar that actually recorded the James Bond theme.
Yeah, I saw something about that recently online, and that was going to be coming through you guys at Cowtown. And and let me ask you, Jesse, how do these guitars really come to you? Is this just Cowtown's overall reputation, or has your spot on History Channel's Pawn Stars really been the anchor to some of these kinds of pieces?
Cowtown's always been a good place for vintage guitars. I think more of the famous stuff that's been coming through from big players and stuff has a lot to do with the TV show. It's kind of funny when you meet somebody like Gary Rosington from Leonard Skinner, and he's walking up and hugging you, and I watch you on TV all the time, and you're like,
wow.
Holy crap, it's one of my
It's
one of my biggest heroes, and he's over here giving me a hug because I'm the guitar appraiser.
Did
on
you
some
find
TV show. It's kind of really weird.
Now,
really
after
weird.
that happens, are you like, wow, maybe he wasn't as cool of a rocker as I thought?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
like,
I know, right?
Why does he like me? Right? Well, let me ask you guys here, because Michael, we're obviously on here with Michael Mack, fourth-generation pawnbroker, owner of the world-famous Max Pawn. And Jesse, we've got you expert in, basically all things music. Sotheby's has an auction going on right now that they're just releasing. Bob Dylan's original penned Like a Rolling Stone song going up for auction between $1 and $2 million. Now, recently, Bob Dylan's guitar that played on the Highway 61 Revisited album went for, I believe, the largest sale in Sotheby's history.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Michael, we'll start with you. What do you think an item like that would fetch? 1, 2? I mean, how high could this go?
Are we talking about the guitar?
The
or
original lyrics from
lyrics?
Like a Rolling Stone, yeah.
I think there's the craze out there, and especially in auctions and Sotheby's and Christie's, they do the best, and so they create the buzz. And if you create a buzz in an auction, you just don't know what's going to happen. I think they should do that with the NBA team. They should take it to Christie's or Sotheby's.
Auction
create a buzz.
That's a great idea.
And it goes to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
But it's going to go for some big money.
Jesse, what about you? What do you think? Knowing the recent history of some of these items, do you think that could go to the top of 2 or stay right around 1?
I think it could go to the top of 2. It's probably one of the biggest songs that Dylan is known for. And he's kind of a personal dude in a lot of senses, and not a lot of his belongings come up for auction. It's not a guy that you see like Eric Clapton, where he auctions off 60 guitars at a time. Bob Dylan doesn't do that, So
yeah, absolutely. Keeps the mystery kind of high for Bob
Just
Dylan fans.
Clarification: this is just the actual. They first wrote it down.
Yeah.
It's not, you don't get the rights to it because
No.
it go for more than $2
yeah,
million.
yeah, go a lot more than $2 million. That's the best mailbox money there is.
Yeah,
is a
absolutely.
song like that.
Man, I tell you what, and even got to give credit to his son Jacob. Finally found an outlet for one headlight. Now he's got that, I think, on Victory Motorcycle. So the whole Dillon family making out right now.
That's where your money is at. Like I said, Mark, the guy that used to own the shop, worked for Bob Seger, and that "Like a Rock" song on all the Chevy commercials for years was the longest a song was used. And that guy got I want to say it was $80 million or something crazy, and 2 brand new maxed out Chevys every year for 25 years.
That's great.
Wow.
What was the combined total of his income when he was, when they were, really happening? Probably.
You know what? He's got his own runway and jet. So,
wow. Okay.
He's one of those guys you just don't really realize how big he is.
Yeah, him and John Travolta flying back and forth. All right, we're going to take a quick look at traffic here on Pawn Talk Live. When we come back, more with Jesse Amoroso. We're going to talk about what they do the Thursday before First Friday down at Cowtown Guitars and something brand new you're not going to want to miss. Stay tuned with us here on Pawn Talk Live.
It's 2:15 in the KDWN Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center. Slow traffic flows 95 south on to 15 south there at the Spaghetti Bowl. Also crashes 15 north south of Sahara, 15 north to Russell off-ramp, south 15 at Charleston. Also collisions Jones at Sahara and Howard Hughes at Sands. For the KDWN Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, I'm Jim Dallas on News Talk 720 KDWN.
You hear a lot of talk about gold these days. What, with the stock market and more upheaval than tumbleweeds in a tornado? The world-famous Max Pawn is your gold spot in Las Vegas. Don't just send your gold into some random TV guy for pennies on the dollars. Go where you can see what your gold is really worth and get guaranteed market rate for your gold, silver, diamonds, and more. Come visit the world-famous Max Pawn in Las Vegas at the northeast corner of Sahara and Jones or online at maxpawnlv.com.
Today for a free inspection. Call 702-25 Green. Replace your old systems and see what we mean. Save hundreds per month on your energy. Call 702-25 Green. Be Green Energy. Take the sting out of your energy bills.
Steve Frazier, Be Green Sales Manager here. Stop throwing your hard-earned money away to the energy companies. Reduce your home's energy use and produce free solar energy. No money down, it pays for itself. Visit 25green.com to learn more about taking the sting out of your energy bills.
Save hundreds per month on your energy. Call 702-25 Green. Be Green Energy. Take the sting out of your energy bills.
Now back to Pawn Talk Live with your hosts Michael Mack and Dave Carney.
And welcome back to Pawn Talk Live here on News Talk 720 KDWN. Dave Carney joined by the owner of the world-famous Max Pawn, Michael Mack, Chad Forster, and with us from Cowtown Guitars here today, Jesse Amorosa. Jesse, coming back here, with you on the other side of the break, we were talking about Cowtown Guitars, some of the great stuff you guys move through there, but you're also a little bit more diverse than just a guitar shop. You guys are really doing something in concert, no pun intended, with First Friday. Tell us a little bit about what you do on Thursdays before First Friday.
We'll usually do preview Thursdays. A lot of times we'll have a small guitar builder or amp company come out. We've had Echo Park guitars. We're getting ready to do one with 65 amps and also a effects pedal builder called Screddy. What we'll do is we'll come out and we'll do it almost like an art opening. We'll have these one-of-a-kind hand-built items. People can come through, look at them, play them, and check them out and all that kind of stuff. And usually we'll have a band or something playing. And,
wow.
We've had everything from I don't remember the name of the restaurant in the Hard Rock, but they were out there making sushi one time, all kinds of stuff like that. It makes it fun and kind of mixes it up and gets opportunity to people to play some stuff they normally wouldn't get to play.
Absolutely. Well, and you capsize, the whole First Friday thing, which we talk about a lot here on the show, and you think of what a great event that's going to be. Now, Michael, you and Jesse have recently combined forces, which is really, it could be seen as two stars kind of colliding here. You guys have joined forces, have come up with possibly the coolest new thing in downtown. Tell us a little bit about that, or as much as you guys can right now.
Well, we've mentioned it on the show prior. We are opening Exile on Main Street, and it's going to be something really cool. Kat and I, my fiance, talk about it. My partner, Jess, and Roxy, his wife, they're really cool. We're kind of nerdy, but they are cool, and we are opening up a vintage store that Las Vegas has never seen. And Jess, talk a little bit about it because I'm so excited, but our partnership's wonderful. We're friends.
Yeah.
It's just so seamless, and I think Las Vegas is really going to enjoy it.
It's kind of cool the way it happened. It just kind of all lined up. We started talking about it, and then all of a sudden the spot next to Cowtown opened up. So we're taking the spot next to Cowtown. We're going to open a little hole in the wall so you can come through between the two stores. And Exile is going to be like a vintage, but not like a thrift store vintage store. It's going to be more high-end, more select on what's in there. And then also we're going to have a lot of new contemporary lines. We're doing Red Moon leather, which is a gentleman in Japan who hand makes and hand stitches these really cool wallets and leather goods, handbags and stuff like that. A couple really high-end denim companies, all sell veg, raw denim.
Wow.
It's the kind of stuff we have to go to Los Angeles usually to buy, or New York. We're going to bring it to Las Vegas, and then with the combination of Michael being involved, we're going to have a lot of the high-end luxury items like Louis Vuitton and stuff like that, but more of the vintage style stuff, 60s, 70s, along those lines.
Fantastic.
So no Lee's jeans, probably.
No Lee's jeans.
Okay.
Yes, it's not going to be. We're going to. It kind of drives me crazy. I go to a lot of the vintage stores, and I hate it when it's like a thrift store, and it's like it's like an army shirt, for example, and they've got 20 of the same one,
right.
but it's always the wrong one. It's not the right one that you actually want. So we're going to be a little bit more select in what we carry.
Well, Michael, let me ask you. I mean, obviously the world-famous Max Pond here at the corner of Sahara and Jones, which, by the way, guys, today we're celebrating again Dos de Mayo. Get on down here. Free prizes, free food, free virgin margaritas, BYOB. I can't stop you if you do that, okay? But we've got all that stuff going on. Now, what do you add to Jesse and Exile on Main Street? What kind of expertise, besides obviously some of the vintage, handbags, Michael, can you bring to a store like that?
Well, we do carry a lot of vintage handbags, vintage jewelry, and estate items. We have a 1964 bike for two that's sitting down here. Probably not catching much attention at all. It's been here for a while.
It has been here for a little bit, yes.
So, a bike like that's going to fly because there's just such a demand here in Southern Nevada. Like Jesse says, people are going to New York, they're going to Soho, they're going down to Melrose. Main Street is really, it's a renaissance. There's a couple brew pubs going in. There's the Buffalo Exchange is coming in right down the street. We have the Melrose of Las Vegas coming right in front of our eyes. And I happen to have that fortune. Jess and I got together. We're talking the symbiotic relationship. We're going to have vintage Louis Vuitton. We'll have Chanel. We'll have vintage scarves. We have, and then just mixing it in, like Jess says, with the new and contemporary stuff. Rock and roll T-shirts, old vintage rock and roll T-shirts. Some of Jess's personal rock and roll T-shirts that are pretty cool.
I was going to say, Jesse, I mean, when you're on in front of, let's put it conservatively, 25 to 40 million people on History Channel's Pawn Stars, you've got, obviously a ton here nationally and internationally that see you, and you're wearing, say, a Jimi Hendrix print tee. Do you ever get hit up on email at cowtownguitars.com and say, Jesse, really awesome T-shirt. I want the one off your back, dude.
I get it constantly. I mean, everything from my sunglasses to watches I'm wearing. It's kind of funny, I'll be answering emails and I'm trying to find a model number on a pair of Ray-Bans I'm wearing to give to some guy. But yeah, I actually get it quite a bit, and it's funny because I get that and people would complain about my hair being greasy.
So of course, being the nice Jewish entrepreneur I am, he is now the NASCAR of Exile. Right. He is going to have from toe to top of his head. He's going to have everything Exile.
So Jesse, do you plot that out? How do you think about it before you do it?
No, I never do. I mean, I literally I go into Pawn Stars wearing whatever I put on that morning. Sometimes I'm wearing jewelry because I had enough time to put something on before I leave, and a lot of times I'll go in there and I'm wearing a T-shirt and haven't washed my hair in 5 days. And then I get the little old ladies that are like, please tell Jesse whatever he puts in his hair, can you just wash his hair?
You got to tell him I got fopped for my hair.
No,
I'm a Dapper Dan man, but I got this fop and I just didn't know what to do with it.
I emailed one lady that really got on me. That hair is the sign of freedom, ma'am. I don't have to get up and punch a clock. I ride a motorcycle to work.
That's right.
That kind of stuff. And I'm like, that's what that is.
Living the true American dream, and I would have said that probably would be, honestly, one of the things that stands out most when people, see you, Jesse, on TV is that look of freedom. And I think that kind of wild, free spirit, Michael, is something that's really going to catch the attention of folks that travel down to Main Street and visit both Cowtown Guitars and Exile on Main Street. I mean, in here, you've got items like Colonel Tom Parker's cane, in which he beat the living out of multiple musicians throughout his career. I mean, could we see items like that down at Exile?
Absolutely. We're going to bring a lot of the cool items. I have the 30s motion picture camera, and a lot of things that Jesse and I have already agreed upon. We're not selling. We're good, but it'll be somewhat of a place where you're going to see awesome things, but aren't necessarily for sale. Now we say that cheek and tongue because it's not for sale, but there's going to be very large price tags on everything that we don't want to
sell. Everything's for sale. Come on.
But one of the other cool things is Jesse and his wife Roxy are in a band, and they played in Life is Beautiful. And tell us a little bit about your band.
We have a band called Crazy Chief. It's kind of 70s rock stuff. A little departure from what I'm used to playing. I've been in a bunch of punk rock bands. Did a lot of touring and stuff in that style of music. So it's kind of neat to actually get to kick back and play a little bit of guitar and not have to.
Is that the named after the guy from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
No, it's actually a lyric from a Clash song.
Oh, okay.
Really? And seeing here, I thought it had something to do with Neil Young and Crazy Horse.
And a lot of people do. Yeah.
And the mix up there, and one of the cool things is, I hobby play guitar, and I stuck one of the Crazy Chief guitar stickers on my case, and it immediately made me a cooler guitar player. I don't know about any better, but it immediately made me much cooler. But again, if you're out there driving around right now and you wonder where is this fun happening from, it's all coming to you live from the world-famous Max Pond corner of Sahara and Jones. And today, Michael, you said until 8 o'clock tonight, we're going to keep the treasure chest open. We've got a ton of great tickets to shows down at the LVH. We've got free food out here. We've got taco trucks, Virgin Margs, and you guys have put out a ton of snacks. So a lot of stuff down here for just about everybody. And again, going on today, 98-cent DVDs, $3.98 Blu-rays, and $3.98 DVD box sets. Now, if there was a smart Mad Men fan out here, and you really like the show Mad Men on AMC, Michael, could we actually see somebody purchase those box sets of Mad Men for $3.98?
$3.98.
All right, Christy, you hear that? Mad Men right up front, $3.98.
How much for
them all?
How much for the tandem bicycle, by the way? Just out of curiosity, the Shamil Shamazel bike.
It was actually, $800. Now it's going to be $1,500 at XL.
I think we could use it as a prop, though. People could come down, put the sombreros on, we could take pictures on it. I think it'd be perfect.
You know what? It's a fantastic idea.
Next year, the donkey painted like a zebra.
That's right. Now, that being said, did you guys just see the first zebra or zonkibra that has been born? It was a hybrid between a donkey and a zebra born in captivity.
Why?
Of course. Obviously, it was meant for Dos de Mayo. It's part of the new celebration, of course, man.
It's the revolt.
Well, you've always heard of seeing the donkey show. Well, here it's the zebra donkey show.
Well,
okay, so we get a real mix.
If you're looking for a striped jackass, you have to look no further than A-Rod. I mean, right?
Yeah, that's right. Now,
any chance to get a Yankee joke in there?
I was going to say, but also great transition here into the Kentucky Derby. Now, Jesse, Michael, not sure if you follow what they call the king sport, which I still think is midgets riding horses and kind of degrading to both the horse and the midget. But what do you think of the Kentucky Derby? Do you lay any money on this? Jesse, we'll start with you.
I don't lay any money on that. As an Italian-American man, we kind of steer away from horses unless we want some shoes.
They're right.
That's great.
I don't play the ponies.
Michael, what about you? You throwing down any of your hard-earned money on one of the long shots there?
Dave, being in the pawn business, I see a lot of gamblers, and I've kind of just steered away because I see more people at the pawn counter than I should because they're recovering from a bet they didn't cover. So, the Kentucky Derby is great. I'd love to go out to it because I hear it's such a really special event. All the parties, all the ladies wearing all the cool hats. I've been down to Del Mar and the track down there, and it's wonderful where the turf meets the surf.
Right.
And
that's where Jim Buss spends all his time. He should be using at the Lakers front office. He's down at Del Mar, apparently.
Maybe he can get his sister's boyfriend.
Yeah, man, I wish we could wrangle him back. So, yeah, that was going to lead me into one other thing, though, here, Michael, because we do have the Kentucky Derby. We've got the Mayweather-Medina Madonna fight coming up this weekend as well. If you're looking to get some extra cash for your betting purposes, really, what better way than to come on down here to Max Pond? Michael, I've got an iPad, and we've had a lot of phone calls on the show with guys that are, hey, look, I've got some buddies coming into town. We need to go out, have a good night out. I don't want to spend $1,000, but I need a few hundred. You can come down. You can pawn your iPad. You can pawn your iPhone. What kinds of stuff is really going hot right now?
David, we had a caller, I think a few months ago that wanted to go out on the town. He was coming in and out of town. We took his iPad. He needed $100. He was out on the town. I was when I was listening to Live in Las Vegas, I was in line with one of our clients, and he showed me a couple of his picks for tonight, and he was making them low, and so he goes, hey, I got a great pick, and so he likes Brooklyn tonight. He goes, lay the points. I'm taking Brooklyn in the NBA.
I agree with him on that.
So that's two people that are going to be back for pawning stuff. Yes, you get it. What? Go ahead. I was going to say, you get the idea. You got to come down here to Max Pawn. If you want to use, some of your stuff to get the money that you need to float you, it's always a decent idea. And here's the other thing, Mike. When you guys do give a loan on something, you're not going to give a loan that's not going to be in line with what they should be able to come back and take it for. So that's the other reassuring thing. At Max Pawn, you're not trying to give them a haircut and take all their stuff.
Well, and that's one of the relationships Jesse and I had early on. A lot of people come to him and they want to pawn their guitars, and they don't know that he's not a pawn shop, or they want to sell and they can't offer that price that he wants. He refers people up here and they get a loan and they get their items back. 90% of the people who loan with us get their items back.
Fantastic. It's got to be one of the highest loan return rates in the state, possibly even in the nation. We're going to do an unofficial survey. I say it's true. All right, we're going to step aside, take our second look at traffic here on Pawn Talk Live. When we come back, more with Michael, Chad, and we'll even see if Jesse wants to stick around for a bit.
Remember, from now on, you need to dial the 702 to reach KDWN. Want to get us by phone? 702-257-5396. That's 702-257-5396. It's news, traffic, and weather for Vegas. News Talk 720, KDWN, Las Vegas, a Beasley Broadcast Group station.
AP Update, I'm Ed Donahue. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has confirmed the first case in the U.S. of a deadly virus.
An American healthcare worker who works in Saudi Arabia is hospitalized in Indiana with the MERS-CoV virus. Assistant Surgeon General Dr. Ann Shuket at CDC says the man was diagnosed with Middle East respiratory syndrome after returning to the U.S. about a week ago. And CDC is working closely with Indiana state health officials
to rapidly respond to and investigate this situation to help prevent the spread of the virus.
They don't know how it spreads in humans or how to prevent or stop it.
There's no available vaccine or specific treatment.
The CDC is trying to track down anyone the patient had close contact with recently to see if they've become ill. I'm David Melendi.
The Indiana Health Department says the man took a bus from Chicago to Indiana last Sunday and began experiencing symptoms. He was admitted to Community Hospital in Munster, Indiana, Monday. AP Update. I'm Ed Donahue.
The news brought to you by Farmers Insurance. At Farmers Insurance, they believe the more you know, the better you can plan. Find your local agent at farmers.com or call 888-96-FARMERS. Brought to you by Farmers Insurance.
It's 2:32 on the Kid on Bud at Credit Union Traffic Center. Slow traffic flows 95 south to go 15 south. Do have crisis 15 north, south of Sahara, north 15 at the Russell off-ramp. Southbound 15, that's at Charleston. On the Beltway, 215 westbound at Sky Point. Also collisions on the surface streets, Jones at Sahara and Eastern at Flamingo. For the Kid on Monday at Credit Union Traffic Center, I'm Jim Dallas on News Talk 720. KDWN.
There's a show that's not afraid to ask questions no one else will ask. Not afraid to say what no one else will say. Friday nights at midnight. Listen to Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie, where no topic is off limits. Conspiracy theories, paranormal activities, hoaxes, the unexplained. It's what we talk about. Question everything. Trust no one. Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie. Friday nights at midnight on News Talk 720 KDWN.
Hi, this is Michael Mack, owner of world-famous Max Pawn in Las Vegas. You ever wondered what those valuables are worth? Had a pawn question but didn't know who to ask? I have the solution for you. Join me and Dave Carney every Friday from 2 to 3 for Pawn Talk Live here on News Radio 720 KDWN.
Please join Jim and Dr. J for the Social Network Show every Sunday at 5 p.m. Whatever networking goals you have, you'll hear something for you as they analyze and comment on the state of the networked, connected world we live in. That's Sundays at 5 on KDWN.
If you're a conservative American over 50, then please listen to this important message. Hi, friends. Fran Tarkenton here. Let me tell you about an organization fighting to protect our country from the destructive liberal policies threatening our great nation. AMAC. the Association of Mature American Citizens, with over 1 million members and growing, serves as a strong conservative alternative to the left-leaning AARP. Over the years, I'd become increasingly distrustful of the AARP and its liberal agenda, but their support for Obamacare was the last straw. As a football player, I understood that in order to win, you have to keep fighting. Well, AMAC not only shares my conservative beliefs, but they also share that same willingness to fight to protect those beliefs for generations to come. You deserve better than AARP. AMAC is better. Better for you. Better for America.
Join AMAC today to receive exclusive benefits and discounts. Call 888-950-AMAC or go to teamamac.us to become a member. Call 888-950-AMAC or go to teamamac.us.
Now back to Pawn Talk Live with your hosts Michael Mack and Dave Carney.
And welcome back to Pawn Talk Live here on News Talk 720 KDWN. Dave Carney joined by Chad Forster, owner of the world-famous Max Pawn, Michael Mack, and from Cowtown Guitars, and soon to be Exile, which will be located on Main Street, Jesse Amorosa. Guys, really great show here today on the Dos de Mayo celebration. It's the first annual Dos de Mayo, as Michael mentioned at the start of the program. It is our revolt against retail pricing. And, Michael, who better to lead Viva la Revolucion than you?
Yeah, well, and of course, Jess, he's a revolter, too. He wouldn't pay retail, and of course, he doesn't sell at retail. He's a, pre-loved guitar shop. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
So here we all are.
Here we all are, and you know what? I was going to say, if the deals got any better, Michael, they'd put you right out of business. But today you're going on kind of a tear because we've got a whole bunch of free gifts here. We've got tickets to 3 of the LVH's most popular shows, Mosaic, Raiding the Rock Vault, which apparently keeps Jesse pretty busy. These guys play loud, good rock and roll down there at the LVH. And Trent Carlini's The King, which is another fantastic show. Trent Carlini, probably one of the best Elvis impersonators over the last 25 years. So we've got all of that, plus you can grab from the Max Pawn Treasure Chest, which includes DVD prize packages, Power Balance bracelets, which I need another one of, by the way, and CDs as well. So great stuff down here at the store, northeast corner of Sahara and Jones. Now, Jesse, Michael, bringing you back here to the show, talking about the Exile store. When do we have an official date for opening? I think we heard something in June. Is that still kind of tentatively the plan?
Yeah, June 6th.
June 6th.
Yeah.
That's
We're
fantastic,
having a pre-party on the 5th, but June 6th is the first Friday in June, and that's when we're going to open it up to the public.
Wow, you guys are really being able to put this together, I mean, ultra quickly. Was the store pretty much built out to spec or to suit your needs, or have you guys had to do a lot of tenant improvements?
We've been doing some tenant improvements. It was pretty much where we needed it to be for now. But I've been playing construction worker for the last week.
He's been doing some great stuff, and it has the right look. Cowtown has the perfect look, of course, but right next door in the right area. You guys know you're part of that downtown Renaissance, the Arts District.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And it's on First Friday. And the great thing about the space itself, it has 2 garage doors that pull up in the rear. And we are going to redo the parking lot. I don't know how soon, probably hopefully soon. And then we're going to build a stage right in the back, and we're going to have live bands right there live every Friday.
Man, that's talk about an addition to First Friday, which, since Zappos has really taken over First Friday and taken control of that, it's continued to grow in the stuff that you guys have downtown, but the experience has also continued to get better, a lot safer. You're starting to get, an actual event like you would see in a city like Austin. Now, Jesse, with your store being located, right there, pretty much close to where it all goes down on First Fridays, what kind of foot traffic do you expect different with a new store like Exile opened up? And do you think that Buffalo Exchange is going to be any kind of, competition to this particular store?
No, I don't look at like businesses opening in the same area as competition. I actually think it just feeds more commerce. I mean, you get more people looking for the same kind of stuff in one area. Every city you go to, whether it be New York, San Francisco, wherever, they have shopping districts. You had 48th and Music Row in New York, where all the guitar shops were. Sunset, where all the guitar shops were. Melrose, where all the cool clothing stores are. So, I actually think it actually builds a little bit more and everybody prospers from it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I even lived in a small town, Central California, Ventura, California, between Santa Barbara and L.A., and it was really known for some of the same things that you guys are doing, vintage shops, and they would keep them compact in the same street. It was on Main Street as well. So, good stuff. And, right now what I want to do here, guys, I want to actually, have Chad and me ask you questions on stuff, though, that we have, okay? So I've got some musical stuff. Chad, you've got a couple of other items, probably that could be evaluated by Michael and see, where we're going to stand. Chad, let's start off with you. Do you have something for Michael you'd like to have him evaluate for you?
What I need evaluated from Michael? That's a good question. Well, I've already asked him about my
your laptop.
Well, my laptop, for one. I don't think you give me anything for that because
it's like
9
that
years old.
thick and about that wide. Now, if you can't understand that on the radio, it's real thick and real heavy.
It's the size of a 1970s television.
It's big.
It's a Trinitron.
It comes in a wooden box.
I would have to say, I already asked you about my exercise bike that gets absolutely no use, as you can tell. But I have a pair of cowboy boots. I don't know. I mean, I got these when I was like 18 years old, and they're silver tipped, and they're elk skin, and I've worn them maybe, I don't know, 12 times, because who wears cowboy boots? So, I mean, I don't know what those would be worth.
It's interesting because now we have a new store that's going to be looking for vintage cowboy boots and vintage items, vintage leather coats. So, it kind of opens up a new arena for Max Pawn and, of course, Pawn Talk Live listeners, because we're going to be able to, see items that we normally wouldn't have seen. We're going to be looking at, vintage motorcycles. Any vintage motorcycle out there that you want us to take a look, you can call us, text us, and we're going to have probably one, possibly two, vintage motorcycles on display and potentially for sale.
So what do you think, Chad's? What do you think his boots would go for? I mean,
did you notice how I kind of just danced around that?
You danced around the whole thing.
$20. You're gonna get $20 for those.
He two-stepped around.
Well,
the cowboy
I'd love
boots.
to see, sir. I'd love to see your cowboy boots. Bring them on down.
I might do that.
Listen, I want to see him wear them because actually one of our.
Embarrassing.
I don't think he can get his foot in there anymore.
Oh, sure. One of our sister stations here on Beasley Broadcasting, 102.7, the Coyote, great country station. And Chad, I think you'd look rather dapper in those cowboy boots, maybe donning your sombrero. You could be you could be a vaquero as opposed to an actual cowboy.
I love that. I think I might actually do that. You might see me in those at some point.
I'm gonna hold you to that, okay? And if we see you that, I'm gonna post it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the other social media sites. Jesse, for you, I have got a 1999 Gibson Blues Hawk guitar. Now the Blues Hawk was a fairly limited run guitar, I believe, for a while. It's got two soap bar humbucker pickups.
Got two P90s in it. Yep.
What kind of it's in perfect condition, has the case with it, so slim brown case, pink, fluffy velvet on the inside. What would that guitar be worth right now?
Some of the mid-90s stuff is known as some of the better built quality stuff for the regular Gibson USA stuff. The Blues Hawk's pretty cool. It's a semi-hollow. It's got the little F-hole in it and all that. Two P90s. That's my favorite pickup. And, in good shape, they usually bring about $1,400-$1,500.
Wow, that's fantastic, because I'll tell you what, I bought that guitar for about $900, all included, and it was in the right at the late 90s, 96, 97. Great guitar. So, if you've got those kinds of guitars, that's something that you would look at down at Cowtown as well?
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely. Anything that's older, quality guitar. We don't buy just everything, but we buy the good stuff.
Sure. Were you playing Wallflowers with that? Is that what you were trying to play when you bought that guitar?
Late
90s? Were you in the Goo Goo Dolls? Is that what you were playing?
I was trying to play Chicago blues. I was doing my best. I was doing my best Jimmy Reed impression at that point. Actually, I was what you call a lowly guitar tech in a roadie, which could possibly be the most fun job you ever have. You have absolutely the most limited amount of responsibility, save for go find us chicks after the gig, and you're like, all right, I guess I can do that. So great stuff. Now, Michael, would you recommend for folks that have say newer guitars, maybe like a new Ibanez, a Takamine, something that they bring them here, and the older guitars like that, go down see Jesse?
Well, don't pass up on I love my friend Jesse, but if you need to get a loan, I mean, that's really where we push our business, because musical instruments are tough. A lot of musical instruments are being replaced by that laptop or by that iPad. And it's unfortunate, the American Music Awards this year didn't have one live instrument this year. Nope. And so I know Jesse's affected by it. We are affected. You're seeing less and less of musical instruments and people going out and playing them. We have a nice assortment of brass instruments here. And
that's the stuff that's really getting hurt.
Yeah, it's tough, and people can't afford it. And young kids are not going into it because they're playing their iPads. And you can play every instrument you want with your iPad.
Well, really, I think that's almost a larger social problem. I mean, you look at the schools now. My son goes to a preparatory academy, which you would think would be great. No music program hardly to speak of, and PE once a week. And you look at what they take away first. It's your arts, your humanities, and your physical education. And it really has been a detriment. But, Chad, you and I talked about this maybe a week or so ago, and, Jesse, maybe you would agree. when you start to see popular music and rock music, pop music start to include a lot more acoustic instrumentation, we'll say the Lumineers, we'll say maybe the Avett Brothers, groups like this starting to really become mainstream and popular, can we be actually on the precipice of kind of a musical rebirth where some of these instruments and
you're kind of seeing it already. You're seeing a lot of bands playing banjos and mandolins and stuff like that again. And a little bit more of musicianship, kind of singer-songwriter, which is cool. It's pretty underground right now, but a lot of bands are breaking into it, and there are a lot of them. I think it's going to be a nice departure, revolt against the electronic music craze, which is cool. It's not my style.
Why don't we
of
have a
music.
holiday for you?
I have a joke actually that goes along with that. What is the definition of perfect pitch?
I don't know. What is it?
When the banjo hits the accordion.
That's great.
It's cool, and I really like to see some younger guys actually picking up musical instruments.
Yeah,
it's cool.
absolutely. Well, I would recommend anybody that's having problems with math, go buy a guitar. And I know it sounds crazy, but if you're having problems with math, go buy a guitar, and about 6 weeks later, you're going to be a heck of a little guitar player and better at math. We're going to step aside, take our final look at traffic here on Pawn Talk Live. When we come back, wrapping up with Chad, Mike, Jesse, and myself. Stay tuned.
And at 2:45 in the KDWN Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, still had that trouble on Interstate 15 northbound, south of Sahara, 15 north, the Russell off-ramp. Also on the Beltway, west 215 at Sky Point, a good part of town. Eastern at Flamingo, Jones at Sahara. New incidents, Sunset at Roy Horn, and a traffic problem on the east side, Desert Inn at Maryland Parkway. For the KDWN Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, I'm Jim Dallas on News Talk 720 KDWN.
Luxury shops in Las Vegas aren't new. What is new, however, is luxury meeting value. At the world-famous Max Pawn, we specialize in marrying the two. With some of the finest selections of watches, designer handbags, sunglasses, and more, the luxury never stops. Every day, new items are added in-store and online. From Gucci and Chanel to Hermes and Louis Vuitton, Max Pawn delivers all the top luxury brands at a fraction of the price. Visit us online at maxpawnlv.com or browse our showroom in Las Vegas. The world-famous Max Pawn, where luxury meets value.
This is Tisha Black. I'm an attorney with the law offices of Black & LaBello. Do you have questions about Las Vegas entities, running a small business, employees, workers' comp, any of those questions? Tune into my show each Wednesday from 9 to 10 a.m. on KDWN AM 720.
Have you turned your air conditioner on yet this year? If you haven't, it probably won't be long. When you do yourself a favor. Listen carefully for a moment. Don't worry, this isn't rocket science. Just pay attention. Does anything sound or smell different than usual? If not, you're probably in the clear. If it does, then calmly pick up your phone and call the Yes Man. Because that funny noise or smell probably means you have a problem. It may not be a big one, but it's something you should have checked out before it gets that way. Yes Air Conditioning was part of the company that helped revolutionize how we heat and cool in the desert. And we can help make sure your summer transition is smooth for years to come. Whether you need a new air conditioner or just service for yours, the Yes Man will get it working and keep it working. Get the number in your phone, 888-4937, or visit theyesmancan.com, license 71246.
Join Harry Jacobs and Crystal Flowers as they host The Source, Monday through Thursday from 1 to 3 p.m. The show will highlight new and current businesses in the Vegas Valley. The Source, Monday through Thursday from 1 to 3, only on News Talk 720 KDWN.
Now back to Pawn Talk Live with your hosts Michael Mack and Dave Carney.
And welcome back to Pawn Talk Live here on News Talk 720 KDWN, streaming worldwide at KDWN.com. Dave Carney down here at the home of it all, the world famous Max Pawn, Northeast Corner, Sahara and Jones.
That was breaking news there for a second.
Well, breaking news, Dos de Mayo going on right now down here at Max Pawn. Street tacos, virgin margaritas, and a ton of tickets to the LVH shows rating the Rock Vault. Mosaic and Trent Carlini's The King.
Yeah, you know what, Jesse? As a matter of fact, we were talking a little bit off the air, and you were talking about a little bit about the rating the Rock Vault, and you've seen it, love the show, but you're getting quite a bit of business out of these guys, apparently, huh?
Yeah, unlike most Las Vegas shows, they let these guys play like they're used to playing, so it's extremely loud. They play for real, and as an intern, we've been getting a lot of repair business from it. I think they blow up a Marshall a night. It seems like we always have one of the guys' amps or guitars in getting repaired at the shop.
Yeah, and being joined by Jesse from Cowtown Guitars down here at Max Pond. Let me ask you this: guitars. Your favorite guitar you have, or the favorite guitar, that one that's just so special to you?
For me, it's kind of funny. A lot of guys have some big vintage guitar that's their thing. Mine is a beat to death 1971 Les Paul Custom that I've had forever. It's just my guitar. I've played hundreds and hundreds of hours on it, and it's kind of worn to my hand shape and everything.
Well, and you talk about one of the most famous sounds probably in all of rock and roll history. I mean, so you say, lightly that it's maybe not one of those vintage guitars, but that guitar in and of itself, seminal in rock and roll history. So a very familiar sound. I got to tell you, one guitar that I never thought I was going to find so much enjoyment out of, and it's still probably one of my favorite to play to this day, was my stepfather's guitar he got in Vietnam. It's a Yamaha guitar. Yep. He got in Vietnam back in 1978. It probably cost him $100 then. Probably cost you about $100 now, but the action is so tight on this thing. Mm-hmm. It's got a warm sound, and you really wouldn't expect it from a Yamaha, but unbelievable and one of my most fun guitars to play.
Yep, those are really good. Those are all actual solid woods and everything. It's real good.
Yeah,
real
back in the day when
one of my first motorcycles was Yamaha. So
I
can relate.
I crashed a Yamaha once.
And we could ride it home with one headlight. No pun intended there. All right, guys. Well, we have got a caller on the line with us today. This is a special call. We have been inviting you guys down here live to the world-famous Max Pond. Frank is online with us, though. Frank, thanks so much for joining the program. How are you?
I'm impetuous, and I need a gut shot response, and I mean an honest gut shot response from all three of you. I'll take your responses off the. It has to be a gut shot response.
All right, go, Frank.
Will we live to see another Triple Crown? Good day, gentlemen.
All right. You know what?
I would say no. I would say no. That last race is just too long. I just don't think you're going to be able to come across another Secretariat. It's just not going to happen.
No,
I would love for that to happen, but I just don't think it's
my family, my mom especially, is big into horses, and I'm sure she's getting ready to watch the Derby. It's one of her things. I don't think so.
I don't think so either, only because the races now, especially, I mean, just like everything else, I mean, even though it is horse racing, you think, how could the sport have changed? It does change. I mean, they've trained them different. And
they juice them up now, too, by the way.
Well, not supposed to, but they do.
Let's be honest, they juice them up.
Well, and the length of time between the races that you have in the Triple Crown, the Preaknesses, the Kentucky Derbies, it's a very long duration between these. And the Kentucky Derby obviously being the crowning jewel of these events. I don't think so, Frank. But really great question, because the Triple Crown, even though horse racing is not nearly what it used to be as far as popularity on a national scale, the Triple Crown is still looked at as one of the most hallowed, sporting kinds of crowns.
Yeah, well, it's because it's so rare, obviously, right. And the races are great because the way they're set up, you open up with the Kentucky Derby, then you go to Preakness and then the Belmont, and they obviously get longer, but that sweep of time for a horse to be able to do that nowadays is just near impossible.
Yeah, now the more, I guess, the easier question to answer, or one that I would gut check and say possibly is a yes, is could Miguel Cabrera perhaps win his third Triple Crown in Major League Baseball?
That could actually happen sooner, I would imagine.
Well, I mean, he's won his last two in a row, which is the first time since, I believe, 43 that happened. So he's in position, though, this season to possibly do that again. I think that would be
Trombo Triple Crown.
A Trombo Triple Crown. I know a guy that would really like the sound of that.
Absolutely.
I think the Heat has a good chance at a triple.
You think so? I don't think the Heat have a chance at anything.
Well,
really,
just because they beat the Bobcats.
Yeah. I was like, anybody was going to beat the Bobcats, Mike. I mean, you and I
Michael
go shooting
Jordan
hoops,
by himself could beat the Bobcats.
Exactly.
That'll happen, and the Raiders will win 10 games.
Right.
You know what? Listen,
Good luck.
You heard it here first. Now, Jesse, I'll tell you what. There's
Call at least 10.
How many years, though? In one season?
In one season.
Okay.
Well, you bring up a great point. I mean, Chad and I talked about this earlier. The NFL draft is obviously coming up next week, so there is going to be, I'm sure, Michael, a lot of sports memorabilia flooding into the store here. Now, that's the great thing about Max Pawn, is that you guys have, something that really no other pawn shop does, and that's authenticated signed jerseys. And we're talking of everything with, certificates of authentication. You've got a bunch of stuff down here, but the NFL draft is going to make a whole lot of teams a whole lot different. The Raiders, though, I will go with you on this one, Jesse, made themselves a lot better thanks to the Houston Texans, a one-off season last year, and gifted Matt Schaub to them, who I still think is a better quarterback than, say, Joe Flacco. I think he's
yeah.
a better
Yeah,
quarterback than maybe 10 or 12 other starters in the league.
He's been in the Pro Bowl 4 times.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And the guy backing him up, McGloin, I think is pretty underrated dude too. You know, I think if something were to happen, I think he could step in there pretty good.
What do you think about? Sorry to go off on the Raiders. What do you think about their decision to trade Terrell Pryor, however, to the Seattle Seahawks? Now the Seahawks have now got.
Thank the Lord. He can go there and disturb and cause as much BS when he's trying to get Wilson fired and say he's a better quarterback than him.
I don't know, but
See
he's
you later,
extremely talented
Hey,
guy.
yeah,
though.
you know what? The quarterback is supposed to throw the ball.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Not a big
If
fan
you
of
want
the
somebody
running
that can run, get a running back.
All right. If you looked at the offensive line of the Raiders last year though, and you didn't
I
have a
would
running
run, too.
quarterback,
Hey, you know what? We had guys from the practice squad. on
That's
the
right.
offensive line. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, Michael, I mean, in here at the shop, I mean, I'm looking at
We
a
have a
couple of
Johnny
things.
Manziel, by the way.
I was going to say we've got a Johnny Manziel. Now, how much did you pay Johnny to sign that when he was in college, Michael?
That was down when he was at the Pro Bowl.
But you got a little cash money Manziel. Now, here's a guy.
He's going to be a Cowboy.
Oh, no, no
He's
way,
gonna
unless
be
the
a Cowboy.
Cowboys are going to jump up and take him. Here's a guy that he's going to be a polarizing figure. The framed signed picture going for $275 right now. But I bet you if you came on down between now and 5 o'clock, Michael.
Who's in the left-hand side there?
Left-hand side. I don't know who number 12.
Oh, I thought that was a quarterback from Florida State.
No.
Winston.
You mean Seamus Jameis and his crab leg incident there?
It's like, if you're starving though, you might as well go for the crab legs, right? I mean, you might as well just go for broke. Well, not a bologna sandwich. I'll go for the crab
I feel sorry for these top athletes, And,
me too.
They don't.
The smallest violin in the world is playing.
I know, and I've been to some of these campuses now, and you see some of the mess halls, and you can just think that Heisman Trophy winner, also baseball star.
Right.
They don't get 3 square meals anymore.
No.
What's wrong with this picture?
Well, it's the NCAA's obvious overreaching here on not wanting to give these guys basically any compensation, which, is going to be ending soon. The first time ever in history we had college athletes vote on possible unionization. Now, I don't think that is probably going to change the model. They're not going to pay these players, but I can almost guarantee you, Michael, that things like, 3 square meals, possibly round-trip tickets back home once a year, as Coach Calipari had mentioned, these are things that we might see take shape. Otherwise, guys, I think that there could be real possibility that the NCAA, a not-for-profit corporation, could go out of business.
Well, I don't know if you knew this, but the backup quarterback or the third-string quarterback at Northwestern is Jimmy Hoffa III. So they might be able to get that.
Really?
Might be able to get that union thing done after all. No, I'm kidding. I don't know if there's actually Jimmy Hoffa III.
That was awesome.
I just made that up.
Well,
that's my malarkey. That's malarkey.
I was like, that they got it down.
That's it. Well, you figure where Northwestern is, right there in Chicago. What better place? What better place to have Jimmy Hoffa III? Our quest
these
is.
guys are gonna be union, right?
Yeah, right?
He's the only guy in college football with no face mask.
Right. Well, that's all part of their plot is unionize and build a new stadium over the buried body of Jimmy Hoffa I, which apparently the old Meadowlands was. Yes, exactly. Now, guys, again here we're coming up here right at the end of the show. We're almost out of here, but really, really fun stuff today. Live Las Vegas, great program. Thanks so much to Chef Sammy D. DeMarco from Travel Channel's Chow Masters for joining us. Nick from Banger Brewing was good enough to join us. Go check them out in Neonopolis, right there in the middle between Fremont East, Fremont West. They're the only brew company right now on Fremont Street. And, of course, thanks to Jesse Amorosa from Cowtown Guitars and Exile, located on Main Street, for joining us today. This has been a really fun program, and I think, we've gotten a lot of good information now. Leading off here, Michael, last question for you. Let's say that Donald Sterling wanted to come in here and sell the Clippers, or get a loan on the Clippers.
I'd give him a loan.
What are you loaning on the Clippers right now?
You're not right. You're not loaning on sponsorships. You're not loaning on. Future value, of course. But I pity for the guy. I heard he has cancer now, and you know what? No matter what, he made a lot of poor decisions. There's no one that should, end their successful career like this. And I feel sorry for him because he did make some mistakes, and I just hope that he can ride out safely and quickly because I think it's really disrupting to the NBA.
Yeah. By the way, Clive and Bundy, huge Clippers fan. I don't know if you guys knew that. Clive and Bundy, huge Clippers fan. This just in. Breaking news.
Oh, gosh. All right, guys. Well, to quote another famous rock and roll song from Mr. Donald Sterling, take the money and run. That's all I can tell you. Guys, it's been fantastic. Until next week, for Michael Mack, for Chad Forster, Tammy Grable not with us. Thanks again to Jesse Amorosa. I'm Dave Carney, and we'll see you next week on Live Las Vegas and Pawn Talk Live.
Pum, cata, pum, 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 como nos gusta el verano. Pum, cata, pum, pum, pum.
Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce, taking Nevadans to Capitol Hill for the latest on the federal issues that matter most to you. Sunday mornings at 7:30 here on News Talk 720 KDWN.
Thank you, Las Vegas, for making One Nevada the #1 bank or credit union in the Review Journal's 2014 Best of Las Vegas poll. To celebrate, we're offering 15-year mortgage loans as low as 2.99%. Apply today at onenevada.org or call 702-382-4094. One Nevada is open to all Clark County and Pahrump residents. Federally insured by the NCUA Equal Opportunity Lender.
Dave Carney here, inviting you to the all-new Live Las Vegas with me and my new co-host, Chad Forster. Every Friday from 1 till 2, Chad and I break down top Vegas news, sports from around the country, and entertainment in a really fun way. Yeah, that's right, talk radio can actually be fun. Live Las Vegas every Friday at 1.
Join the Down Syndrome Organization of Southern Nevada for their annual Buddy Walk on May 3rd. This event will include fun, food, games, entertainment, a raffle, and other activities. Registration begins at noon, and the walk begins at 3:30. For more information and to sign up, go online to dsosn.org.
What happens on News Talk 720 KDWN